it wouldn't have the same impact without it. Yeah, this is so triumphant. I love it.
They're very elated.
How cool is that?
They want to defy the gods. It's interesting that they depict him as a child.
Oh wow!
What a sick stuff.
Oh, see fate entangled with the choices of the gods. That's quite clever imagery.
Well, it doesn't kill him.
That's why there's a second part.
Oh. Hey.
Ah, he
Precipitation,
melted the
ladies and
ice.
gentlemen.
No, he's melting the ice with his fire. The ice from the god? The dragon god?
Fish. What
Oh.
the fuck? It's raining fish.
为何不是？我说过，你是我唯一的朋友。
Is that a little girl or a boy?
He's a boy, I think. How cool is that? I love the dynamics of that soundtrack. They're so incredibly impactful. This is why
fire.
this is one of the reasons why people sort of like overlook soundtracks in films.
Agreed.
But I think they're such a pinnacle, life-breathing essence of cinematography, because for a lot of the films that you are your favorites, that you sort of love the most, the reasons why you are so incredibly connected with it emotionally, or the storyline, or whatever the acting or the animation might be, half of that emotional impact comes from the direction of the music.
Agreed.
So the music dictates how you should feel emotionally, and in this particular scene is so seemingly perfectly done.
Agreed.
That you don't even notice at some points the impact or the pressure or the sort of dramatic effect that the score is having.
The release of tension comes through the music score, the amplification of tension through such combative, epic orchestral arrangement within a choir
The
arrangement.
elation, because it's taken some of the drumming away and it's just sort of focusing on the vocal choir aspect of it.
Something bigger than life, so it's no longer as
Grounded.
The drums make you very grounded, very basic, but now you, in order to become elated, like how when Neja is fighting the fucking meteorite essentially of ice that's falling down in the city, you drop all the drums and you start to just become, let's amplify things, the frequency, by utilizing an orchestral choir, like a choral arrangement.
And then you have the absolute change of dynamics that sort of set the pace of the scene, which is when the climax of the scene is done and he has defeated the dragon.
Yeah.
You have this sort of like letdown from the score, and it's very quiet and it becomes very subtle.
Similar to the baby realizing that now there's water. Interesting that there were fish.
I suppose there must be a big symbolic aspect of that we should know once we get to watch the film.
Talk about symbolism, and I guess we should probably learn a tad bit more about the actual Chinese mythology of it. So Neja is a very famous figure in ancient Chinese mythology, with many versions of his tale. The most widely known legend is that he's the third son of pagoda-bearing heavenly king Lin Jing. Born as a flesh ball, he was revealed only after Li Jing split it open with a sword.
Oh wow.
Neja was rebellious from a young age and possessed supernatural abilities. Bro was just pissed all the time.
He was just angry.
Angry baby. However, after accidentally killing the third son of the East Sea Dragon King, he brought disaster upon himself. To avoid implicating his parents, he chose to return flesh to his father and bones to his mother, atoning with it with his life.
Oh my god!
Later, he was resurrected with the help of Taiji Shenren.
That's very symbolic atonement, though. That, like,
Brutal, no?
ashes to ashes and all that. That is
Ash-
very symbolic, and
Flesh
sort
to
of-
father, bones to mother.
It's sort of quite philosophical too. You
Well,
know?
it's mythology, man.
like
You wouldn't presume anything like that from China. You wouldn't presume anything shallow from Chinese
Oh
mythology.
yeah, that's for sure.
So many things here from the West got taken from Chinese mythology, and their roots are so deep. Anyways, it is essentially the core spirit of Naja is defying fate. He is a defier, a rebel, essentially. He refuses to accept his predetermined destiny, dares to challenge authority, and ultimately earns respect and recognition through his own efforts.
Correct.
The
Yes.
spirit not only reflects Neja's personal growth, but also embodies the spirit of resistance in traditional Chinese culture. I would presume it's quite a common theme, it seems. The foolish old man. So, other Chinese myths that reflect the spirit of resistance include the foolish old man that moves mountains, an old man who vowed to level the mountains to create a path. Kwafu chases the sun, so a giant who... and in terms of direction, so the screenwriter was Jiaoshi Yang Yu, and he was the screenwriter and director of Neja.
Phenomenal.
He is not professionally trained in animations, but he pursued it as a passion.
Wow, imagine that. That is a very talented dude.
He resigned from his job and relied on his parents for support while dedicating himself to animation creation. And during these difficult times, it was his mother, unconditional trust and support, that sustained him, much like the Nesha in the film.
You know, shout out to moms.
Eventually, he achieved very, very popular fame because of Birth of the Demon Child, Nesha, and realizing that his animations sort of led him to this dream. He has become now a role model amongst many animators, and he is probably one of the most successful animators in China at the moment.
It's very stylistically distinct.
Correct.
And I think that's exactly what sets it apart and draws you into this reality. I personally love a good animation, and I think this sort of like
So many people
set the bar so high for in expectations of what a hero story could be, a sort of like fundamentals of a character that have been told in history before, and they're sort of familiar favorites, and you're bringing back core values of the Chinese perspective in a way that is so modernistic and so accessible.
I think in the West there is a lack of animated movies
Yes.
that have world-class background music scores and just music scores overall with songs that are award-winning. And you can notice this because if you go on, Western social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all this stuff, people make their own edits of the songs of the movie scenes. Like Kung Fu Panda is a good example of that, and they put songs that they think fitted better. And actually, to a certain extent, sometimes they're better than the actual music compositions that were in the original movie. If you look at then, obviously, anime is very popular in the West because of Japan. I think if you look at Black Myth Wukong, which has obviously caused a ton of havoc in the gaming industry internationally. Music is such a big part of these pieces of art.
I believe is a fundamental element of movie making, of entertainment overall.
Agreed.
Whether it's animation, whether it's a film, whether it's a music video, I think the core soul essence of it is how good the music is.